Hey, everybody. Kevin here with Pursuing Pixels, and we're back again with another edition of Save It for the Cast. And last week, before we got into the video games talk, which we'll get into shortly, I rattled off a handful of demos that I was super excited about. And I know one of the games that I mentioned, Advent Neon, was included in the itchio bundle for Palestinian Aid. And I wanted to give a shout out to another game that was included in that bundle, not demo form. I know Advent Neon, you'll get that when the whole bundle comes out, too, when the full game comes out. But I did want to give a shout out to Grapple Force Rena, which in our Discord, our buddy Morecab was just like, you got to play this, Kevin. You got to play this. And it's like from Galaxy Trail Games, which I think we've talked about. Freedom Planet in particular. I talked about how much I liked that game on the podcast. Like, it's got that Sega Genesis kind of Treasure style, Treasure being like Gunstar Heroes, Dynamite Heady, really kind of leaning into that like Dynamite Heady and even a little bit Mischief Makers on the N64 as far as the gameplay goes. And obviously with Grapple in the title, you got a grappling hook, and really the gameplay, like in the first world alone, there's 5 levels, and it's like really split up. Really, I don't know, every level has kind of its own mechanic, or like maybe you're trying to kill all the enemies on one stage where it's like a little more of an open-ended, like almost like, I don't know, Yoshi's Island-esque kind of stage. You're kind of going all over the place, where some of them are like, oh, chase down the boss in the pirate ship, and then the next in like an airship almost, and then the next stage will be like the actual boss battle. I don't know. I just really been impressed. There's cute little story bits in between. There's sometimes, for me, I like to just go straight to the gameplay. So I'm like, come on, get on with it. But it's, they're kind of almost like little, they're a little longer than this, but almost like they kind of remind me of like the little cut scenes in between like Pac-Man stages sometimes, especially at the end of some of the stages. But yeah, just a really cool game. It's got great tunes, like just really captures that 16-bit era of Sega Genesis. And again, it kind of has some of that Sonic influence too, where you're building up speed. But I don't know what it is about Galaxy Trail Games and a lot of these Sonic inspired games, like Advent Neon too. I don't know what it is about me liking these so much more than actual Sonic games, but can't come highly recommended enough. And then I did want to give a shout out to a couple more games, a few more games actually. We just checked out since we're talking about some Discord members, our buddy Eli, I just checked out the Kickstarter demo for his game, and I shouldn't say his game, he's got a decent team with him as well. But his game Soulchild, which we couldn't be more pumped about, and especially after playing the demo, I'm even more pumped than I was before. The music is just incredible. We already knew the pixel art and the gameplay looked really fun because we've been seeing some teasers and little GIFs and clips of that. But now that I finally have my hands on it, it's like, oh, this is the real deal. And it's just a little kind of like slice of life demo. I don't think it's going to be like anything that's in the actual game. I mean, the gameplay itself will be, but I don't think I think it's almost like the demo itself is almost like a little mini Metroidvania, but the game is going to be a combat-free Metroidvania. And again, I just wanted to give it a shout out because the Kickstarter is going to be launching really, really soon here. So, and I really I can't wait to play a even more fully realized version of this game. I'm really rooting for these guys. And then, yeah, I just wanted to shout out a couple more quick precision platformers. And again, I didn't fully explain. Yeah, Soulchild is going to be kind of like a combat-free precision platformer with a bunch of different masks that all have different power-ups. So I'm a sucker for power-ups. I don't know what it is about 2D platformers and power-ups, but I'll take them all day long. But yeah, we've also been checking out some more indie games with a bunch of our pals over in the Indie Game Collective, and they're kind of like some like-minded folks. I'm actually just helping out a little bit with them, helping like scout games that we can check out and kind of shine a little extra light on together, kind of, just like focusing like, hey, look at this cool game. Like, let's all try to check this out. And we, a couple that we've, group of us checked out recently were, again, precision platformers. This game Dojoran, it's like a 1-bit precision platformer where you play as this chubby little frog where you the double jumping, you don't actually have a regular double jump. You only can double jump when you collect or when you eat like these big apples. And then when you I guess that's maybe why your frog's like a little chubby buddy, because you got to make sure that you can got room in your stomach for these huge apples. And then when you have an apple in your mouth, you carry it and just kind of run with it. You kind of have this like ballerina run almost. It's really cool. Like, it's just really cute. I love all the animations, the death animation and everything. But anyways, you use the apple like when it's in your mouth. Once you're in midair, you can spit that apple out and then use that as kind of like a double jump. And then they actually get into like a little bit of puzzle platforming where you're like, you got to spit the apple onto the ground and bounce off of it, because you can also use them as kind of like a trampoline of sorts, so you can like recollect an apple that you've already, like, if they kind of respawn at like a certain where the apple spawn points are, I guess. But yeah, just some really, I don't know how many levels are in the game. It looks like, at least on like the map screen, at least like 20, 25, and I don't know if there's another screen beyond where I'm at, but even at like level 10, I think I'm on level like 13 now. But even by level 10, I am just getting it handed to me, and there's still like some collectibles I can go back for, and this game's only like $5, so just highly, highly recommended. It's one that's popped up on our Twitter feed before a few times, and like kind of slipped through the cracks like many of these indie games do, and glad it kind of was re-brought to my attention via the Indie Game Collective folks. And then another one that we checked out with them as well was Super Cable Boy, and this is one that's again been on my radar even more so than Dojoran. Like, this is one that I kind of was been waiting for to come out, and holy cow, is this game amazing. This game is just so much fun. Again, it's a precision puzzle platform where you kind of play as like a little Game Boy figurine, or not figurine, a protagonist. But again, it's Super Cable Boy, so you kind of have the first like world, you're just kind of like your cable just needs to get plugged into the socket at the end of each level to complete the stage. But then you actually unlock like different cartridges, which are your power-ups. Again, I'm a sucker for the power-ups, whether they're masks or Game Boy cartridges, but you essentially like plug those in, and once you get more than one, you can actually swap between them. But the first one you get like a grappling hook, just like Grappling Force Rena, but like all sorts of hidden like onigiri collectibles on the stages, and even certain ones where like you have to have a certain cartridge to carry it along with you, because the next cartridge you get is a triple jump. It's like a double jump, and then you get a dash as well. It's so much fun. I just unlocked an ability that like kind of swaps the palette, and you're like switching between all these abilities. I think it's called the ink cartridge, where like, yeah, it'll switch it to like, there'll be certain things like you'll have to switch palette, or not, it's not switching the palette, it's kind of like swapping polarity or whatever you want to call it, where you can like go through this wall that would have otherwise killed you before, and then you switch back to, you know, traverse the rest of the level or whatever. But yeah, the gameplay is getting really cool, really hard, especially if you're going for those collectibles. Holy crap, they are so tough to find. But yeah, I guess I don't know if I'm always going to do this in front of these Save It for the Cast episodes, but these games are just really standing out to me, and I just can't help myself when I sit in front of a mic. I'm just like, hey, I got to talk about some video games. And yeah, John, Randall, and I are gonna yak a little more about some video games, along with some basketball talk as well this week. You know, we can't keep John and Randall away from the basketball stuff, but yeah, that's probably enough rambling from me at the intro of this episode here. So why don't we get things rolling and talk about some video games.
Play my Switch so much less these days compared to like my Xbox for whatever reason.
Man, I haven't used my Xbox in a while lately.
It's just like the ease. Honestly, I think it's just the Series X being so instantaneous and the Switches too. So that's not really an excuse. Maybe it's the newness on top of that, but like just jumping immediately right back into like, it's like 3 to 5 games at a time that it'll let you do that with, which is like really incredible. Yeah.
Multi. Okay, I didn't know that.
Like the quick resume is just unbelievable.
Yeah, like a save state essentially you're talking about?
I mean, it's virtually like clamshelling 5 games and then booting them, you know, yeah.
That seems like crazy. That would appeal to the worst aspects of how I play games.
Me
like
too.
That sounds like
no, that sounds ideal, man. Like just bounce around. Jump around.
Yeah, but then all it takes is like one to crash. Like just think about like if the system crashed and then you lose 5 games, like that is just like me running with 5 pairs of scissors.
Yep.
Nice. I'm gonna mention Void Gore and Hell is Other Demons.
Yo, okay, that sounds awesome.
Hell is Other Demons is like, I'm guessing you guys would remember it just from the what's it called, like GIF or whatever that I posted, or video, but that Pink River game where it's like you're floating down a raft and forward. It's made by that developer, and it's like their actual game, like on Switch or whatever. And then they have another game that they're working on called Gun Howl. that looks freaking sweet. There's like, you can actually play the demo, but there's like no sound, no music, no anything. And I was like, I'll wait till it's at least a little bit further along. Like I want it, but it looks, the GIFs he posts are like, it's just incredible.
Oh, I did want to mention I have broken my streak and I have given Epic Games $5.
Yeah.
Ooh. What'd you buy?
Through.
Well, the most when I got the NBA 2K21, like it gives you like a $10 coupon.
Oh,
but you can only use the $10 coupon on anything that's over $15.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? Star Renegades is enough. Well, it might be like $6, maybe $16 or something, but it's still on sale. Every game was on sale.
That's dope.
But the thing is, like, there's a ton of games that I wanted that were below on sale for below $10, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to and that's the stupid thing of like, okay, like that game will now be attached to Epic. Like I will have to log into Epic to play that game.
That's my thing. Yeah. That's why I never buy anything on Steam.
Same. Like, honestly, that's why I resubscribed to Humble Bundle, because I'm like, all right, if you just give me 30 games like on what, but like the most recent bundle, like, or like it just switched to the next most recent bundle. And like, it was 8 games that I already owned, and I was like, fine. I'm not gonna do this for one game. I'm not gonna buy this bundle with like all of the repeat keys, and then I get Hyper Light Drifter.
Right,
right.
So one of these days it'll be good. Another good one.
That's awesome.
But
let me know
Star
if
Renegades
when
is sweet.
NBA 2K happens for you, John.
That's what I mean.
Promise me you won't talk about it on the podcast. So
I won't.
Dude, we could do freaking bonus NBA episodes, man.
My God. Those would have to be released timely, though. That's the thing. We're in playoffs now.
But that's the thing. The mini episodes could go anytime, you know? Like, they could get plugged in like, I could be like, oh, that's fresh, man. Let me release that this week.
That's true.
Anyways, just how Westbrook
I'm just kind of messing
the Wizards
around,
to a playoff berth.
Yeah, baby.
Get Westbrook out of here, man.
Hey,
get him out of here.
Hey,
get him out of here.
Hey,
he's talented. I will never take that away.
I am
good basketball player.
For what's his face, Steph, to just body the next. Kevin, there's now a play-in tournament to the playoffs that was introduced for the shortened season because of COVID. And then because this was also like a semi-shortened season, like 10 games less, they kept it for this season.
In both, like on both conferences or whatever?
Yep. So the top 6 teams automatically qualify for the playoffs. And then the next 4 teams play a single elimination game.
Ooh.
So 7 and 8.
7 through 10?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a wild card in football, pretty much.
So 7 and 8 play, and whoever wins that gets the 7th seed. And then the 8th plays the winner of the 9th and 10th, and whoever wins that game.
Oh.
Or, well, the winner, so, like, you have to win 2 games to get into the,
to get into the 8th
If you're the 9th or 10th team, you have to win 2 games. If you're the 8th or 7th team, you have to win one game.
Right.
Okay. So it's like somebody sort of gets a bye, sort of?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the 7th and 8th, whoever wins that, like, gets the 7th seed, and then whoever wins the second matchup of, like, that tier. So, like, if you look at it as, it's whatever. It's
hard to explain.
It's
without,
way more
like,
complicated to explain than to just see.
It's awesome.
Exactly. If I just saw, like, the lines, it'd be like, oh, duh. That's how the bracket works.
It's awesome. I think the format is amazing. Some people have bitched about it. I think it's incredible.
I think people just hate when anything changes, man. And it's just like,
basically,
hey, man, our podcast's changing, man. No, like,
lose everyone.
But no, it's like, I do think people just get so nuts when something changes, and it's just like, just go with it, man. If that's what as long as it's what those people want to be doing, or what, you know, in whatever capacity, like, just go with it. Who cares?
Yeah, and it's fun.
You know,
it's great.
And if you don't like it anymore, just stop.
Right.
You know, like, stop supporting that team, or stop whatever. Like, it's not that hard, I feel.
Yeah, but we got to see a LeBron James versus Stephen Curry game for the play-in that fucking ruled.
And it felt like a fucking finals game.
Right.
Who won? See, there's something about those single elimination. That's why that's why I like football so much, cuz the playoffs are all single elimination,
right.
But
there's only
beyond
like 18
that,
games or
16, so like
17
Christ.
now.
Oh, they added one?
Yep.
God
didn't they
damn
add
it.
a
but
team?
still, I mean, that's nothing.
No, they didn't.
I think the players would disagree with that.
yeah, that's for sure. But in the sense of like how many games you win and lose, it's
statistically
pretty insignificant as far as like your win percentage goes, and like that's why I like it so much. Like it kind of always feels like the playoffs, unless you're watching the Lions, because you just they're not
that is
making
your playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, hey, we won every game in the preseason, guys.
We don't have a losing record this year.
Yeah, for real. I don't even know when the last time we could say that is. I mean, I think we've done it a couple times, but I don't know.
Yeah, they went 8-8 some years back, I think.
Even that, is that something to be proud of?
No.
Going 500?
No.
Like in baseball, you'd be the best hitter of all time, but
yeah.
Not
what
so
is
much
the
in football.
worst baseball record?
Like,
God.
In a single season?
Yeah, like
those are a lot of games. Like, there's no way you can't win one. Like, there's, in football, teams have, including the Lions, have gone seasons without winning a game.
They sure have.
The
Fucking
1899 Cleveland Spiders, which already
that might not even count.
Cleveland Spiders
owned the worst single season record of all time, minimum of 120 games.
Yeah.
And for all eras, finishing at 20-134.
Woof.
Damn.
134 losses.
How do you feel, man? Because even when I played hockey growing up, like going into the locker room after a loss is rough, man. And that's with no stakes. None. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't play travel or anything. Like I played just like regular, basically pickup hockey but on a schedule.
Yeah.
And it was like devastating when you lost a game.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, let's see. Okay,
depending
modern
on the coach,
era,
I guess.
I'm trying to find. Detroit Tigers.
I thought so.
2003, 43-119.
Yeah.
Really? What, in 2003? Because I feel like the Tigers had some good. They had some good runs though, like in the Verlander days. Was that a little bit later
though?
A little bit later, yeah.
That's
even
after they got the draft
2019
picks
apparently for the Tigers was 47-114.
They blew up their team. They like got rid of everyone.
And then Baltimore Orioles was also a 47-115, but like beyond that, you have to go back to like the 1919 for any of these teams.
Imagine
That's
tanking for 160 game season. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
like it's
Oh God, but no, like that's the paid. I was also thinking like at least you're getting paid, but I'm like, unless you're like the top players, you're not getting. Like,
and not in that era, in 1890, whatever.
God.
Like they paid people shit. They paid people like they didn't make anything. They lived in like apartments.
Probably did, yeah.
Even some of the like biggest baseball players, like they again, like in times it was probably like decent money, but like not much.
Yeah.
Like in the Babe Ruth era, I feel like players did not make that much money.
No.
Get a loaf of bread and a whole ham.
A chicken in every pot.
Yeah, God. Some of these names, though, the Boston Rustlers, and then 2 years prior, the Boston Doves.
Doves.
Okay. That's not like, I feel like your team, like Orioles is like a good bird, but Doves for a team.
It's like guess who the Doves are now? They are an extant like franchise in terms of like records, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
They're the Braves.
Oh, wow.
And the Rustlers. Okay. Interesting. Oh. Oh, okay. So the Rustlers became the Doves, which then became the Braves, or reverse, one of those.
It's crazy, man.
God,
some of the team names too back in the day, just kind of wild.
That's hilarious.
The Red Sox. That's so weird. Did Boston have two teams?
Probably.
They could have.
Yeah, they probably did.
It could have been more of like even like an East Coast league at that point in time.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what era you're talking about.
Because
like
if you're going back to 1871, where's the population of America?
We're talking about the 13 colonies over here.
Basically.
Holy shit, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Lots of states were not established yet.
There was a trail that led to Oregon.
Yep.
I was just talking about Oregon Trail with my cousin earlier. We were talking about like games we used to play in computer class. He had never heard of Pang. How can you never hear of Pang?
Or I've never heard of Pang.
Super Buster Bros.
Oh, yeah, boy. That's
it's like the game. There's basically just bouncy balls bouncing above you.
Wait, you played it on your classroom computer?
There was like, it was on some like one of those like freegames.com or like one of the addicting game. I think it was addictinggames.com.
Yo,
Buster
we
Bros.
never got to play this.
It's really fun. And there's
awesome.
one of those new games that got announced for the Switch, like retro games that are getting added, like kind of look that Spanky's Quest or Spanky's something. Yeah. Looked kind of similar to that, and then we started talking about that game, and he was like, "I never played that." We were like, and he was like, Number Munchers and Oregon Trail were my games, and I was like, I played those too, but it was mostly Sim City for me. That was the one I put the most time into in computer class because I think it was actually, I think it was on our PCs. Like it was just, I think we might have even had assignments to like do stuff in that game. I don't remember, but I remember we all would play it. Like everyone would play it and like be like looking at each other's screens. Like it was fun.
Like there was like a critical mass where like the teacher would try to get us to like not all be playing Snood or DX Ball, which was just Breakout. But like after a while it was just like, nope, there's a shortcut on every single computer. Everyone already like, you can't stop us.
Yeah.
Definitely got an emulator running to play some NHL 94 on a Genesis emulator at school. I think I just had it all on a floppy disk or some shit like that.
That's
that's taking it a step above. Bringing in a
keyboard.
Yeah, and bring it in your, loading in the game onto the system.
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever,
kind of
onto
the computer kid.
Yeah.
Have I mentioned
never could
how
hack in that much?
The computers, like not on from like the students downloading it, but the computers in our computer class had Mario's Fundamentals on them.
Oh wow.
Which was
that like one of those learning games?
Not even. It wasn't even like Mario teaches typing or like Mario is missing. It was literally like it was chess, Go Fish, checkers.
What?
But
with
like
Mario characters?
But with Mario characters.
Wow.
And like voice acting by Charles Martinet.
Yes.
Oh man.
It was unbelievable. I have all of that ingrained in my memory of like Mario saying, "Here, fishy, fishy." Or just like, looks like it's time to go fishing again.
What was this game called again?
Mario's Fundamentals.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. I don't even know if I knew about that game.
I didn't.
Because that does not sound familiar. Yeah.
Wow.
It's nothing.
But I wonder if that was one of those, like, I wonder if Philips made that game or something, because I know they had like that weird license with Nintendo with the CDI.
Right.
Like maybe they licensed things out for educational purposes.
Mindscape was the publisher.
Interplay.
Looks like it was just on Mac.
Interplay? Baldur's Gate and Fallout.
Dude, Interplay is like huge. Aren't they like Earthworm Jim and Oddworld? They're not Oddworld.
Or
Presage was the developer.
Load Runner.
Oh.
Brainstorm Entertainment. Huh.
Oh,
Chessmates. Fuck. Chessmates is how I learned how to play chess.
That's cool.
Christ.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's so cute. Like in checkers, you get like little Koopa Troopas and little Yoshis.
It's good. It's literally it's what? Checkers, Go Fish, Dominoes, Backgammon, and Yahtzee, but it says yacht.
So it's like table games essentially.
Yeah, that's all it
nice.
is. That's it.
Nice.
Yacht. That's great. Mario with his yacht.
That's awesome.
Oh, Mario's Game Gallery? Is that what it was? I thought it was called Mario's Fundamentals. Weird.
I'm looking on a thing that says Mario's Fundamentals.
Could be different
and
regions.
Mario's Game Gallery, though. Originally released as Mario's Game Gallery.
Weird. So we got the, second round? Re-released as Fundamental. Okay, so it was originally for DOS. So we probably had it for when it was on 95.
Yep.
Wow. DOS. I don't know if I ever had a DOS system.
I did.
You did, Randall?
Yeah.
We did at my cousin's house. Like, I remember playing this DuckTales game at my cousin's house all the time. And I think that's the only game I remember.
Booted a demo of Worms through DOS. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's and then there's just a lot of the old ID software games. Like, that's how I played a lot of Commander Keen and things like that. Or all
I just forget they did those
DOS games and Crystal Caves. Lots of old DOS games. Lots of platformers. Jazzy Jackrabbit.
Man, that rings a bell. I've never played it, but that rings a bell.
Yeah,
I just played Gorillas and Snake. I think those were the only two
I love that
DOS games that we played.
Gorillas?
Yeah, I posted a picture of it. It was just two gorillas on buildings, 4 colors. And you just put in an X, a Y, and a velocity, and that was you throwing a radioactive banana, to try to hit the other gorilla. And it was my first game. It was
okay,
because before that, we got the Windows 95, and
oh yeah,
my dad would bring home floppy disks from work where someone had put a game on it, and we would boot it up, and we were like, holy shit.
What a time to be alive.
It was such a cool, because now that everything's digital, you can just get any game that you want as long as you can afford it.
Yeah.
And even half the time they're just freaking free.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember I'm sure we've talked about this before, but when we when there's a game that your cousin has that you never owned or something.
Oh yeah.
I'm I remember this game my cousin had on their PC that was just this Santa Claus game, and it was just this puzzle platformer, collecting the presents.
Fuck,
you might have even had a laser gun, but I can't remember if you were dodging I think you were just dodging lasers.
No, I'm also remembering now a puzzle platformer I played at my godparents' house. That was also a Santa platform.
It had really cool, kind of bouncy pixels from what I remember. Maybe I'm just kind of remembering looking like a cool indie game, but that game was sweet. I kind of want to find that game now.
Yeah, it's so
it was on the Chips
out.
Challenge level of graphics, but 2D platformer.
That's
maybe a little bit beyond that, but
oh man,
it's a good time.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of time, we should clap.
Ooh.
Where's DJ when you need him? I'm at
I'm at an DJ now.
I'm your new DJ.
Well, especially when Mikey keeps sending pictures of his hand-painted figurine up close, and you're like, damn, I don't really think Mikey's a painter, and that looks pretty damn good. Right? You're like, I can do this.
Oh, yeah. I've been watching a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, I went into the other day, went into an actual game shop.
Yeah.
And went to their Warhammer section, and they didn't have what I was looking for, but then I was sheepishly talking to a guy, and he immediately assumes that I know what I'm talking about.
Uh-oh.
And he starts listing off the things, and I'm like, no, I got no clue, man. Also, I'm not going to be taking it this seriously. Like,
take it slow with me here.
Oh man,
out.
I'm specifically doing the thing that takes 30 minutes max, and like nothing else.
I actually didn't realize that you could complete a match in 30 minutes or less.
Oh, I thought you meant painting time.
Oh God, no.
I was like, how do they judge that?
Yeah, Mikey, he like reached out to us and he's like, hey, like what started this whole thing was like, there's this version of Warhammer called Kill Team that is specifically like shorter matches, like 10 or like 5 to like 15 minute like units per match or round or whatever. And like he's like, if you guys have ever want to do that, and I'm like, you know what, I'll bite. Like, I'll look into this. And it's been
he's been pushing everything lately. I was like, I'll download StarCraft, but I don't know if I'm going to get into Warhammer.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Not yet. Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I don't know enough about Warhammer, but I feel like it wouldn't be that big of a stretch to go from like strategy games to Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I think for sure. Especially if you do like PC strategy stuff, like where it's kind of more open-ended.
Yeah.
Or not open-ended, but you can kind of select big unit, a bunch of units at once instead of like Bad North style.
Yeah.
Right.
But nothing against Bad North. I love that game. We were just talking about like roguelikes and stuff in the Paradigm Discord earlier, and I was kind of talking about how I always like think they're kind of like arcade, like, quarter pumping type. You get that feel out of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but not with something like Bad North. Like when you die, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, that's a run. I just lost the run.
Yeah, like a 2 to 3 hour run.
Oof.
Like, yeah, rough.
That gets the blood pumping too, though. Like that's the positive and the negative.
Yeah.
You're just invested.
Yeah. It's just, I guess the only difference is it's just not one that I typically fire up another. Like if I have a great Downwell run and almost beat it, but like don't quite or get an awesome, even if I do beat it, but like, I didn't get the combo I wanted to go for or whatever. Or it was just sloppy or whatever. Like I'll go and do it again where like Bad North, I die on a good run and it's game over.
Yeah.
Kind of like Kingdom's a little bit like that too.
Hey, let's walk away from this for a little while. Yeah. Let's play something
I just
different.
Put some time into this.